She cleaned tables for survival. But when the Millionaire CEO walked in unannounced, one tiny misunderstanding turned into a storm of humiliation, until the secret she carried inside shattered the empire built on cruelty. Los Angeles glowed like liquid gold at sunset. Streetlights flickered awake, luxury cars hummed through the hills, and glass mansions sparkled like crystals in the dusk sky. But not all light reached the workers who cleaned those mansions. Inside one of the most expensive homes atop the hills, a young black woman sat silently on the marble steps. Her uniform was spotless, her hands tired, her eyes heavy but determined. Her name was Maid Thompson, 26 years old, overworked, underpaid, and unnoticed by the world that glittered around her. By day, she was invisible. By night, she was exhausted. And through it all, she carried a secret, a truth that lived behind her quiet eyes. Maya worked for Victoria Sterling, a billionaire CEO, famous and feared, adored by newspapers but hated by every employee who worked under her. Victoria was elegance and ice combined, sharp jawline, flawless suits, cold blue eyes. Her voice alone could quiet an entire boardroom. But behind closed doors, she was cruel, vindictive, merciless. Employees whispered her name in fear. People said she fired workers for a single fingerprint on a wine glass. She didn't care who you were, unless you were rich, useful, or powerful. Maya was none of those things. She had grown up poor. She had struggled for everything. But she had something no one else had, a heart that refused to turn cold. IT was late evening when Maya received a message that froze her blood. Victoria is coming home early. Prepare everything exactly as she likes. No one ever relaxed after hearing that sentence. Victoria's standards were famously impossible. Glass must reflect like mirrors. Floors must look untouched. Every room must smell like white jasmine candles. And absolutely nothing must be out of place. Maya rushed through the house, fixing every possible detail. She double-checked the kitchen, polished the silverware, aligned the cushions, and lit every candle in precise order. Then it happened. A house cat jumped on the dining table. In its careless paws, a crystal wine glass slid and shattered into pieces. Maya froze. Her heartbeat hammered in her ears. Not the glass. Not that one. Victoria's favorite wine glass. A limited edition piece imported from Italy. And it was gone. Before she could react, she heard the gate outside. Victoria's luxury SUV purred into the driveway. Maya panicked, fell to her knees, and tried to gather the broken shards. But Victoria's heels were already clicking inside the foyer. She turned the corner, saw Maya on the floor, and her expression twisted like a storm. "What?" she hissed. "Have you done?" Maya stood slowly, trembling. I'm so sorry, ma'am. The cat, I tried. But Victoria raised a hand sharply. Silence. Her voice cracked like a whip. "You stupid little girl. Do you have any idea what this cost? Do you have any idea who you're working for?" Maya lowered her head, holding back tears. "I will replace it. I promise. I'll work extra shifts." But Victoria only laughed. A cruel, icy sound. "You? Replace it." She stepped closer until Maya could feel her breath. "Your entire month's salary wouldn't buy the base of this glass." Other staff members gathered quietly, horrified but helpless. Victoria continued. "I hired you because you were cheap, replaceable, and completely unskilled. It seems I was right." Tears burned Maya's eyes, but she stayed silent. Then Victoria pushed even harder. "You should be grateful you even have a job. People like you end up on the streets. Or worse." Maya swallowed the pain. Inside her, something broke. Victoria took a step closer, lowering her voice so others could not hear. "You don't belong in a house like this. You never will." Maya lifted her eyes for the first time, and Victoria stepped back, because the look in Maya's eyes wasn't fear anymore. It was something deeper, stronger, something Victoria had never seen inside a domestic worker, something like power. Maya whispered, "I didn't choose this job, Miss Sterling. I chose to survive." Victoria scoffed. "Survive? You? Child, your survival depends on my mercy." The employees around them held their breath. Maya replied softly, "No, my survival depends on the truth. And one day, that truth will walk through this door." The room froze. Even Victoria seemed startled. What truth? What was this girl hiding? But the CEO had no time for riddles. She pointed to the door and barked, "Get out of my house." The workers gasped. Maya stepped back. "Are you firing me? Firing you?" Victoria sneered. "Oh no, I'm erasing you. You're done here." Tears finally broke free from Maya's eyes, not from fear, but from betrayal. Victoria Sterling, the woman Maya had served with loyalty, had thrown her away like trash. But Maya whispered one sentence that made even Victoria's breath halt. "You don't know who you're throwing away." Victoria's eyebrows rose. "Oh, and who exactly are you?" Maya's lips trembled. "My mother used to work for your family. She knew things you never wanted the world to hear." Victoria stiffened, and for the first time, fear rippled across her face. "Leave," she ordered shakily, "before I call security." Maya turned and walked out, quiet but strong. Behind her, Victoria felt a strange chill. A secret from the past was returning, and Maya Thompson was the key. Maya stepped out of the mansion and into darkness. As she reached the gate, a black car rolled up the driveway. The headlights illuminated her face. Her tears shimmered. Her uniform was stained with dust and humiliation. The car door opened. A tall woman stepped out, elegant, powerful, dressed in black. When she saw Maya, she froze. "Maya," she whispered. Maya lifted her head in shock. "Annalise?" The woman hugged her tightly and whispered the sentence that would flip Victoria Sterling's entire empire upside down. "Maya, it's time you know the truth about your mother." The story had only begun. Night hung over Los Angeles like a heavy curtain. Cars hummed in the distance, streetlights flickered, and the air felt sharp, as if the city itself was holding its breath. Maya stood frozen at the mansion gate. She couldn't believe who was standing in front of her. Elise Carter, her mother's closest friend, a woman Maya hadn't seen in almost 10 years. Annalise pulled her into a tight embrace. "Maya, my poor girl, what happened to you?" Maya's voice cracked. "Victoria, she fired me. She humiliated me in front of everyone." Elise stepped back, her face hardening, just like her mother once did to yours. Maya stared. "What do you mean?" Elise glanced at the mansion behind them, then spoke softly. "Not here. Come with me." Inside the quiet warmth of Elise's car, Maya finally breathed. She wiped her tears as Elise drove through the winding LA hills. After a long silence, Elise finally spoke. "Maya, you deserve to know what really happened to your mother." Maya's heart tightened. "My mother, she died working for Victoria's family. Everyone told me she slipped and fell, that it was an accident." Elise shook her head. "No, sweetheart, it was not an accident. It was a cover-up." Maya felt her blood turn cold. Elise continued. 20 years ago, your mother, Angela Thompson, was the head housekeeper for the Sterling family, loved by everyone except Victoria's mother, Eleanor Sterling. Maya clenched her hands. She had heard stories about Eleanor Sterling. Cruel, arrogant, ruthless. Elise's voice softened. Your mother discovered something she wasn't supposed to. Something about Eleanor's illegal financial activities, embezzlement, fake charity accounts, money laundering. Maya gasped. My mother? She knew all that. Yes, Elise whispered. And Angela planned to expose her. Elise wiped her eyes. But before she fell from the balcony during her night shift. Eleanor claimed it was an accident. Police were bribed. Case closed. Maya covered her mouth, trembling. No, my mother was murdered. Elise nodded slowly. And Victoria knows it. She was a child then, but Eleanor told her everything. That's why she hates anyone connected to your family. That's why she fired you. You are a threat. Maya burst into tears. Her entire body shook. All these years, she thought her mother died in an unfortunate accident. But now she knew her mother had died fighting for justice. And Victoria Sterling had buried the truth. Maya looked at Elise with burning eyes. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because Eleanor was too powerful. And after she died, Victoria took over everything. The company, the wealth, the influence, the connections. Elise continued. I kept one thing hidden all these years. Something her mother gave me the night before she died. She reached into her purse and handed Maya a small envelope. Yellow, old, edges worn. Maya opened it with trembling hands. Inside were page facing up 3 original documents. Page facing up a USB drive. Page facing up a handwritten letter from her mother. Maya read her mother's writing. If anything happens to me, Maya deserves the truth. Elise, please keep this safe. For my daughter, for justice, for the truth I may not live to tell. Maya broke down again. Elise pulled her close. This evidence can expose Eleanor's crimes and Victoria's cover-up. Maya whispered, I can't fight a billionaire. She will destroy me. Elise smiled sadly. You won't fight alone. Back at the Sterling mansion, Victoria stormed into her office, slamming the door. She was furious, not because of the wine glass, but because of the look in Maya's eyes. That look, that confidence, that threat, it reminded her of Angela Thompson, her greatest fear. Desperately, she called her private investigator. Find everything you can on Maya Thompson, she snapped. I want to know where she's gone, who she meets, every detail. The PI hesitated. Ma'am, what exactly are you worried about? Victoria almost screamed. She knows something her mother should have never known. The PI's eyes widened. You mean the Eleanor Sterling case? Victoria turned cold. Do not say that name. Just find the girl. But Maya was already far away. Elise drove Maya to her apartment, a small, warm place filled with old photographs and soft jazz music. Maya sat on the couch, shaking from the weight of the truth. Elise knelt beside her. Maya, I know you are hurting, but your mother didn't die for nothing. She tried to expose evil. Now you have the chance to finish what she started. Maya looked up with red but determined eyes. How? Victoria has lawyers, money, power. Elise cut her off gently. You're not just anything. You are the daughter of the bravest woman I ever knew. Maya breathed deeply. For the first time in years, she felt something ignite inside her. Purpose, fire, destiny. Around midnight, Elise went to the kitchen to make tea. Maya sat alone, staring at her mother's letter, tears falling onto the paper. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the apartment. Glass shattered. Footsteps. Voices. Elise screamed. Maya ran toward the kitchen and froze. Two masked men grabbed Elise, covering her mouth. One of them growled. Victoria sends her regards. Maya's heart dropped. No, leave her alone. The second man swung at Maya, but she ducked and grabbed a frying pan, hitting him across the arm. He cursed and stumbled. Elise fought, kicking wildly. Maya screamed, Run! She dragged Elise through the hallway as the men lunged again. They barely squeezed out the back door into the dark alley, slamming it shut behind them. Maya was shaking, breathless. Elise whispered, terrified. Maya, this means one thing. Maya nodded. Yes. Victoria knows the truth is coming. The attack changed everything. Victoria Sterling wasn't just a bully. She was dangerous. And Maya wasn't just hiding anymore. She was fighting AT Sunrise. Maya stood on Elise's balcony overlooking the city. The same city that stole her mother's life was now waiting for her to uncover the truth. Elise joined her. Maya, what are you going to do? Maya closed her eyes. She saw her mother smiling. She saw Victoria sneering. She saw herself standing between justice and fear. Then she opened her eyes, steady and fierce. Her voice was calm. I'm going to finish what my mother started. Elise smiled proudly. That's what Angela would have wanted. Maya held the envelope tightly. Her mother didn't die in silence. Now her daughter would make sure the world heard the truth. Los Angeles woke to a golden sunrise, unaware that before this day ended, one of the most powerful women in the city would lose everything she built. And a young woman once treated like a shadow would finally step into the light. Maya stood at Elise's window, watching the city stretch awake. She held the envelope, the evidence of her mother's truth, tight against her chest. This was no longer about a broken wine glass. It was no longer about humiliation or a job lost. This was about justice. This was about Angela Thompson. Elise set 2 cups of tea on the table. Maya, listen carefully. Victoria will do anything to protect her empire, but we have something she doesn't. Maya nodded. The truth. And proof, Elise added. Enough proof to break her company, her reputation, and her lies. Maya's heart pounded. So, what do we do? Elise looked at her with steady eyes. We go public. Maya froze. Public? Like the news? Elise smiled sadly. Bigger. She opened her laptop and revealed the name of an online investigative journalist known for exposing billionaires. Clara Ramirez, Justice Network. A woman who never lost a case. Elise messaged Clara with a single line. I have evidence that can expose the Sterling legacy. Urgent. Seconds later, Clara responded. Where can we meet? The war had officially begun. Clara arrived in a small cafe wearing a leather jacket hair tied back, eyes razor sharp. She didn't waste time. What do you have? Maya placed the envelope gently on the table. My mother was murdered because she found financial crimes in Eleanor Sterling's files. Victoria knows the truth and covered it up. Clara's eyes widened. And you have proof of this? Maya nodded. Yes, and they sent men to attack us last night. Clara leaned forward. Maya, do you understand what this means? If this becomes public, Victoria Sterling's empire will collapse. Maya whispered. She collapsed my mother's life. It's time the world knows. Clara opened the envelope, scanning documents, reading the letter, checking the USB drive. Her breath caught. This could send her to prison. Maya closed her eyes. She felt her mother's presence like a soft wind. Then let's begin. That afternoon, Victoria walked into her corporate office like a queen returning to her throne. Her assistant scurried behind her, terrified. Ma'am, there's something you need to see. Not now, Victoria snapped. But as she entered the building, she froze. Massive TV screens in the lobby flashed breaking news. Television, exposed. New evidence against Sterling legacy. Television, former housekeeper's daughter reveals shocking truth. Television, murder cover-up and financial fraud. Victoria felt her stomach drop. No. Photos of Angela Thompson appeared on the screen, followed by Maya Thompson, speaking on camera. Victoria's face turned white. She shouted at her assistant, "Shut it off! Now!" But it was too late. Her entire staff had already seen it. Security escorted Maya and Elise to the Sterling HQ for a formal legal hearing. But Maya wasn't there to beg. She was there to end this. Victoria stormed into the boardroom, eyes blazing. "You little rat," she hissed at Maya. "How dare you? How dare you go after my family?" Maya stood tall. "You went after mine first." Victoria slammed her fist on the table. "Everything you said is lies. Made-up stories. Fabrications." Clara Ramirez entered the room calmly. "Actually, Ms. Sterling, we've verified every document. The evidence is real." Victoria's face cracked. The board members turned sharply toward her. Clara continued. "Financial fraud. Illegal offshore accounts. Covering up Angela Thompson's death. This is no rumor. This is a case." Victoria's mask fell apart. "You don't understand," she screamed. "My mother built this company. She protected us." Maya stepped forward. "She destroyed us." Victoria looked at her with venom. "You are nothing, just a servant's daughter." Maya looked into her eyes, unshaken. "And yet today, the entire world is listening to me." The room gasped. Victoria lunged toward Maya, but security grabbed her instantly. She thrashed, screaming, "Let go of me. You can't do this. I'm Victoria Sterling." But the law no longer cared. She was escorted out of her own building. Her empire gone. Her legacy shattered. Her lies exposed. Weeks later, after investigations and charges were filed, Maya was invited to a ceremony hosted by the Justice Network. Elise stood proudly beside her. Clara handed Maya a plaque. "For courage, truth, and the fight for justice, Maya Thompson." Reporters cheered. Cameras flashed. But Maya wasn't smiling for fame. She smiled because her mother was finally free. That night, Maya visited her mother's grave, a small stone worn by time. She placed a plaque gently beside it. "I did it, Mama," she whispered. "You didn't die in silence. The world finally heard you." A soft breeze brushed her cheek, warm, gentle, loving. She knew the meaning. Her mother was proud. Elise and Maya later opened a small foundation, Angela's Light Foundation, helping women find justice. The first day it opened, dozens of women walked through the door seeking help. Maya greeted each one warmly. Strong, confident, fearless. Her journey from a humiliated maid to a woman of justice would inspire thousands. Maya stood at the entrance of the foundation, feeling the sunset on her face. Elise asked, "How do you feel?" Maya smiled softly, "Like I'm finally where I belong, in the light."